In this channel, we bring you the freshest discussions taking place in Japan's online community.
A Japanese man in his 30s was stabbed to death on a street in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. The suspect, a man in his 20s, stated that he attacked the victim because he resembled his former foreign boss, whom he held a grudge against. The attacker harbored hostility towards foreigners due to his previous boss. There was no personal acquaintance between the attacker and the victim.
It's a case of misplaced anger due to a Japanese toxic boss. Japan, which currently exploits technical trainees with slave-like labor, can't dismiss this as someone else's problem. I remember the boss at the bento shop. I used to work at yelling at the Vietnamese workers. I still remember the Vietnamese worker looking so scared and on the verge of tears. It doesn't say the boss was Japanese. The boss could have been Chinese. Why didn't he just go after the boss instead? What an idiot. Maybe this was also a retaliation against the general treatment of Vietnamese by Japanese people. The attacker didn't say anything like that. No one will want to come to Japan anymore. Mutually banning each other from entering would be a win-win. I heard that Vietnamese people find it a huge humiliation to be scolded in public. A diverse society is a society close to death. A foreigner moved into my apartment building and made a lot of noise. I reported them to the police, and they moved out. But now another foreigner Vietnamese moved in, and after I reported them, they started harassing me by banging on walls and floors and leaving trash outside my door at night. It's not the Vietnamese who are bad. It's your fault for living in a poor area where only Vietnamese people can afford to live. Just endure it. If 5 people have changed within a year, that place is a stepping stone. They live there for about a month to get used to Japan, and then get sent to various locations. We were told not to scold foreign workers in public. Bringing in a large number of foreign workers means dealing with these issues. It's already problematic that public scolding is acceptable in Japan. Scolding someone in public is a vile act that intentionally humiliates and degrades a person's character and pride. Going to a place like Vietnam, which is highly anti-Japanese, is foolish. Vietnam is a pro-Japan country. That ended with the technical trainee issues. People say Japanese people are fleeing abroad, but there's no race more disliked overseas than the Japanese. No, the Chinese take the lead by far. The fact that someone would stab a person just because they looked similar indicates the level of people coming to Japan. Exporting power harassment. Japanese businessmen are making enemies worldwide, as expected from a country that defeated America. Never let your guard down against those coming to Japan. Well, there must be resentment. They're being treated like slaves. This kind of incident will likely start happening within Japan as well. Employing Vietnamese people means being hated to death. It's scary. It seems like the Vietnamese workers being scolded are at fault. They steal rare trading cards from the factory. They work at and use rented apartment rooms as makeshift hotels for business. Isn't this due to the weak yen and poor treatment by Japanese companies? Japan has become such a cheap country that the elite Vietnamese graduates who used to come no longer do. Now, only the lowest of the low come to work, so it can't be helped. An uprising of Vietnamese people in Japan is near.
Did you find this video interesting? We'll keep bringing you fun topics from Japan's online community. Please subscribe to the channel and drop some comments.